And yeah, I'm a former candidate to the European Parliament. When I was here a year and a half ago, I was the candidate for the European Parliament. I still remember speaking here. So it's great to be here, and thank you once again for the invitation. As Vijay correctly said, I got elected to be the first deputy to the Danish Parliament almost 3 years ago now. And my main policy was around sustainability and businesses. I'm myself an entrepreneur, and coming from the private sector, you understand how much you both need to engage with the government, but you also need to have sustainability has to be economically sustainable. You have to create great investment opportunities, because sustainability without that is just not gonna exist. So I've actually been very close with both the UK Embassy in Denmark and the Indian Embassy in Denmark. They're my closest, I would say, embassies that I've engaged with. And under that umbrella, I would like to be on a positive note and highlight a few collaborations between those countries that have been really good in the last few years. One of them is between UK and Denmark. It's called the Viking Link, and it's the largest ever offshore, it's called onshore and submarine interconnector, which covers over 750 kilometers. And it has been created in December 2023. So these are one of those amazing collaborations that got executed between government and the private sector between two countries, and it highlights that you need more of those kind of engagements. And I was in the British Embassy when it just got announced, and it was a big victory because the embassies were highly involved in creating these kind of events and creating those platforms for companies to engage with each other. And when it comes to India, on a personal note, I've been going there quite a lot recently. I'm learning Hindi now as well. So I can say, Mera naam Alexandra hai. And I study Hindi now. That's nothing to do with the Danish Parliament at all. But I have, my first visit to India was on you could say a kind of a government trip. It was organized by the Indian Embassy. And it was a lot what is to do because Denmark and India has a green strategic partnership, which was created in 2020. And under that umbrella, there's been a lot of engagements within, especially offshore wind. And last summer, there was a hydrogen project. So I think these more governmental bilateral agreements really do promote businesses in existing expertise to be shared, but at the end of the day, it's always, I feel, the private sector that pushes it through. And from a policy making point of view, on a little challenge note that I've been seeing and politicians have been seeing in the EU, when I was touring around last year in my European Parliament elections, I met with a lot of CEOs of big companies, including Vestas, which is one of the biggest wind company in the world, actually. And the biggest issue was the power grid system. And that is still something that is more on a policy-making point of view, but also maybe for you to, you're probably all aware of it, but that has been a big issue, the power grid systems, and with the increasing security issue we're seeing in the world, the power grid system is something that is really lacking. And when I had a meeting with an EU commissioner, I asked her what's one of the biggest issues now. She said the power grid system. So I wish to see more in that, more unification towards through the EU. UK is obviously an island, so it's different, but seeing more happening in that space, and especially cybersecurity being an issue, digitization being something we'll see more in the grid system, seeing a bit more highlight on that. And to conclude, once again, I think, as it was mentioned in the beginning, collaboration, global collaboration is key. And I personally travel a lot. Tomorrow I'm leaving again. I'm going to the Emirates, then I'm going again to India, and then I'll be going to Kurdistan. So very different locations, back to Denmark, because I think engagement is key. And yeah, thank you once again for the invite. And it's so great to see Kanishka. Funny note, I met him in a bus when I was 14 years old on my way to Oxford. And I still remember going into that bus and being a bit worried, being like, oh, I'm taking this bus, I know nothing. And then I'm sat next to Kanishka and I'm like, wow, what an intelligent guy. And he likes politics and he's going to Oxford, and I like politics, I'm going to Oxford. I mean, I didn't study there, but I studied in UCL in London, so what a small world.